Today, I'm going to compare two different sizes of LEGO vignettes. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you know, I build quite a lot of LEGO minifigure habitats that are usually on a very small space of a 8x8. Now, today I'm going to try to build a 12x12 and a 16x16 base. Let's start right away with the 12x12, and later I will tell you my thoughts and also what are we building here. So this is a very simple snowy terrain. I'm going to create a bigger slope here at the back. In my inventory, I have one of these curved long slopes that I think work very well. Here we can just slide it in with a little bit of a sideways build to have a nice slope at the back, at the background of this build. Over here, I'm going to add my character. So we have one character here fighting with the wind. So we are going to put one leg up here, let's say it's climbing up, and the minifigure is going to go like this. As you can see, I have this very interesting like golden kind of hairpiece that really look like the air are flowing into the wind. I also folded the cape so that the cape also is looking like flowing in the wind. So I'm building this for two contents. So one is Brickscalibur, the capturing character category. So we're going to have only one minifigure in this build. And I'm also building this for the classic castle contest in the category. No, I don't recall the name. I will put the link over here on the screen. The name, but it's a category in which we need to have some natural phenomenon. So I'm thinking as a sort of wind, a snowy storm. So over here we have a little bit of some sort of gate, castle, ruin kind of thing. Little bit of snow on top, a little bit of pieces coming down, and over here I'm gonna add this husky dog that come from the one of the CMF minifigure from a few years ago, the Snow Guardian, for which I also build an habitat. Over here, I thought I would add a flag because, of course, a flag is something that can clearly indicate this wind effect that I'm trying to recreate over here. So I'm gonna connect it over there at the back. Turn it a bit so that from the front perspective we can see the flag is flowing in the wind. Over here I'm going to add a small fire. Here I'm using again this part that I use in many different builds. I have the Bandits of Golak build. I use it in the Zastam minifigure habitat from D&D. But this time I'm going to put it sideways. It's actually easier because it has a connection over there. So that again, it will look like the wind is flowing this way. Now, the last thing I need to do, other than a little piece of horn over here to make the snow a little bit smoother, I'm going to add two trees. So one is very straightforward. I'm using the fur pieces, dark green and white on top. So again, the snow effect on top. And I run through a flexible piece so that we make it look like it's actually flowing in the wind. And on top, here I don't have the connection, but I'm just going to put something in white there to close the top. Over here, I'm planning to add another tree, and here I'm using the same technique that I use, if you remember, in the elves against dwarves kind of build, a little bit smaller with some snow as well. And again, here I'm running this flex tube in the middle so that we can make this flexing towards the right to again create this wind effect. On top, I'm just going to add one more of this. Potentially I could connect it, but I think if I leave it a little bit loose, it will bend even a little bit more to give this wind effect. So first of all, let me know in the comments what you think, if you think the windy effect is achieved. I'm not sure if something that I think is quite tricky to achieve with Lego, especially on a smaller scale like this. Anyway, double dipping for two categories over here. 12x12, I think very good vignette size. So I know that many people struggle with 8x8 to fit details in a minifigure habitat, and I have to say initially it's normal. It just takes a little bit of practice to get better at it. Here for sure you have a lot of breathing room. Potentially you can build tall, you can build a room, you can have walls on the side, especially if you are building only for one minifigure, but potentially maybe two or three, you still have plenty of breathing room to build something nice. And in this case, if you are doing a landscape, very, very good. You can add a lot of details. On a 8x8, you have very little space for landscape. But now let's move this to the side and let's build a 16x16. Again, this is not my first 12x12, not my first 16x16, but these are the newest one. This one is going to be a Fallout mock, not so big, but I will submit this for the Kubrick contest that I mentioned in my mock builder news video quite often. So this is from the TV series. I never played the game, and it's going to be the wedding scene. I don't know if you remember, inside the Vault 33, they have this sort of corn or wheat field. No, it's a cornfield, I think, kind of fake. All the walls are fake. And then we have these raiders that were supposed to come from the other vault. Spoiler alert. But then a fight exploded here in the scene. So first, I have all these pieces over here. I'm using different plain pieces, the regular stem, the newer one. I have some like candlestick. I have some smaller pieces over here. I have this one with the 3 leaves coming out and some yellows on top, yellow flower kind of thing. I think the effect of this work well with a couple of pieces to resemble a little bit of a fencing. And then here we have the stairs coming up. These are actually on an hinge, but then I'm going to block it off. Over here you can see I did a bit of detailing around this door, a barrel, a crate over there, very, very simple details. Now over here, I didn't know what to build here. I didn't want to put another door, so I just put some random details over there. Let me get the pieces. So this probably doesn't make any sense at all, but I thought I could just add some sort of detail. Maybe it could be some sort of, let's say, air conditioning or something that is needed to live underground in this vault. On top of this, I'm gonna create a sort of balcony area. This one is more detail, of course. I just need to make sure that the stairs go in between the right space. So once I push everything in, everything is nice and solid. A little bit of details. Actually, I realized afterward that I did a mistake. This one is not aligned with this. I should have made a plate higher, so the alignment would be good. I'm using droid arms here to create this railing, but okay, not so bad. I wanted to create also some detail behind this wall. Now, probably when I'm going to put this on, it's going to be a little bit too dark. Anyway, I have this sort of garage panel that is going to slide under there. I can connect, so now the door at the bottom is closed, but also it blocks the lights. And then I'm using this panel over here again to add a little bit of details at the front and also adding a little bit of depth going into the door. Over here, I added a window, so this is gonna be connected like this. I think I'm missing a piece actually. Yeah, this piece should go in there, and then I can just block the top off with another tile. So you can see now the structure of the vault is more or less done. We have a little bit of lights as well. And over here I have a space. This is not a window, but that's where I'm going to put the Vault 33. If you remember, I did a Fallout fantasy vignette for Vin Week not long ago. It was one of my favorites from that week. I had this sort of vault number, could be 13. Number 13 over here. This was for the vault outside. I used the same technique, inverted the color, to create the Vault 33 number. And I'm just going to slide that in through here. So now we have the Vault 33 and it's clearer where we are. Now to finish this, of course, I need to add the minifigure. So the key one is Lucy in her wedding dress. Not the best choice of color, I would say, but this is what I have. Then I had to create some blue kind of uniform. This one looks good only from the back because it's sort of a pirate kind of figure. But I figure that if I put it like this, like moving away, it still gives the idea that he's one of the vault people. And then I have another one. This is actually from the Beast. Actually, I did a vignette for Beast as well. I'm using the torso over here. It's going to be one of the victims, let's say, over there with a spillover of blood that continue over there. So I think this makes sense. Let me adjust it a little bit. And then I'm going to add two of the bad guys. So here they are basically naked on the top, but they still have the blue legs, which I have a few in my collection. Couple of weapons over here. And then one more of the bad guy going to be here at the front with this nice what is it called, pauldron, these shoulder pads. This is from the D&D minifigure that is gonna be over here at the front, shooting up, okay, very, very angry and very, very fit. Last detail, I'm gonna add one cowboy hat over here on top of this fencing, just a little bit of extra details. And potentially, if you want to make this look a little bit more finished, you could just add a little bit of a frame in black. You could do that also with the 12 by 12, but in this case, being a taller one, then you maybe will have to do something that that follow a little bit the line of the habitat, but potentially then you could have some spillover on top of the frame like I did in previous mocks as well. Here you can definitely fit a lot more details and a lot more minifigures. So for example, here I have 5 minifigures, but you could fit a lot more. I have to say that this is actually my favorite, 12 by 12, because also for people like me that they don't have a massive collections, the bigger you build, then the more pieces you need to create, for example, walls. Unless you put details on every single part of the wall, then it requires a lot more parts. For example, I wanted to do bright green at the bottom. I only have 3 plates in bright green. So I had to work it out a little bit and find alternative solution. For example, I didn't have the same color of these pieces, these bars, so I have to use light gray and dark gray. I had to mix up here with an antenna because I don't have enough parts of the same to make it look uniform. So actually, I prefer the 12 by 12 size, and if you are struggling a bit with the 8 by 8, I would recommend you to try to work. For example, you can do a sort of minifigure habitat, maybe not stackable, for have a minifigure, a CMF minifigure. Take a CMF minifigure and build a 12 by 12 vignette. I think that is a very good exercise. If you're building around this scale, unless the contest or whatever you're building require you a specific size, maybe it's better to build with the regular base because the mock will look better. So this one you see looks cuter, smaller. Once you get to this size, maybe an irregular shape would make the mock look more interesting, while this looks a little bit more simple. Anyway, let me know your comments, your thoughts in the comments down below. Stay tuned because we have a lot of good things coming on the channel very, very soon, including probably next week my early Winter Village Christmas build. Thank you very much for watching. Please consider to leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Ciao, ciao.